This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Chapter 2 of the Psychology of Pricing: Why We Pay What We Pay. The Contrast Principle: Why Relative Value Matters. In this chapter, you'll learn: explain the contrast principle in pricing. Let's dive in. An almost ignored bread maker quietly changes everything. Williams Sonoma adds a fancier, pricier version. Hardly anyone buys it, yet sales of the original model nearly double. Same machine, same price. Here's the twist. The only thing that changed was what shoppers could compare it to. 68% of U.S. online shoppers say they lean on list price discounts to judge value. Not features, not materials, not even reviews. A crossed-out $199 next to $99 quietly does more work than a page of marketing copy. In this episode, we zoom in on that hidden comparison engine in your head. You're not just reacting to a price, you're reacting to what it's sitting next to. The regular price above it, the premium version to its right, the cheaper option you just scrolled past. Marketers know this. That's why you'll see compare at prices, oddly expensive deluxe tiers, and bundles that exist mainly to make another option feel smart. We'll look at how these contrasts push decisions, how regulators are starting to push back, and how you can use the same principle ethically in your own pricing. Marketers aren't guessing about these effects. They're measuring them. In Dan Ariely's MIT experiment, a nearly useless print-only option quietly steered most people toward a more profitable bundle. Williams Sonoma's higher-end bread maker did the same job in retail. It served as a silent anchor, nudging shoppers toward the mid-tier choice. Behind the scenes, neuroscientists see the brain's value circuits light up differently depending on what shows up first on the page, like your salary feeling huge or tiny depending on the offers you've seen just before it. Here's the uncomfortable part. Your brain doesn't wait for you to decide how much something is worth. It quietly grabs the nearest reference point and uses it as a shortcut, long before you feel like you're weighing pros and cons. That's why the order in which options appear matters so much. Show a $2,000 coaching program first, and a $500 workshop feels almost trivial. Reverse the order. Start at $99, then $249, then $500, and that same $500 suddenly feels serious. Nothing about the workshop changed, only the path your mind took to reach it. Product teams and founders exploit this with sequencing. On SaaS pricing pages, the annual plan often appears with a bold Best Value tag, flanked by a clearly worse monthly plan. The layout isn't random. It trains your eye where to land. In e-commerce, you'll often see a conspicuously high first option when filtering by price. By the time you scroll to the middle, your sense of what's normal has already shifted upward. A single outlier can tilt the entire frame. Add a $9.99 in-app Pro Plus upgrade above your $4.99 Pro tier, and many users will suddenly experience $4.99 as reasonable instead of pricey. Remove it, and $4.99 regains its sting. This isn't limited to price. Relative cues shape how we read quality, too. In app stores, a 4.3-star rating looks mediocre next to a 4.8, but strong next to a row of 3.6s. In marketplaces, a product photo shot on a clean background looks premium when every other seller uses dim, cluttered images. The effect stacks when multiple signals line up. A mid-range price, slightly better visuals, a modest but higher rating than neighbors. Together, they form a "this is the smart choice" impression without a single persuasive sentence. One useful mental model is a financial order book. The best bid and best ask define the market at any moment. Move those top levels, and every other quote suddenly feels cheap or expensive. In pricing, your highest and lowest visible options set that perceived market for everything in between. The ethical question isn't whether you're shaping these reference points. You always are. It's whether you're doing it transparently, in a way that would still feel fair if a customer saw exactly how you designed the page. A good way to see relative value in action is to step outside pricing for a moment. Think about travel time. A 20-minute delay on a 30-minute flight feels outrageous. The same 20 minutes tacked onto a 10-hour haul barely registers. The delay is identical, but your reference frame quietly rewrites its meaning. The same thing happens when you launch or reposition products. Release a stripped-down starter feature set first, and your later standard tier will be judged against that baseline. Release an overbuilt flagship first, and even modest cuts in the next tier down will feel like bargains. Change the neighborhood, not just the number. Put your course beside $29 mini workshops and it signals one thing. Place it next to a $5,000 cohort-based program and it signals another, even at the same price. One practical test. Before publishing a page, blur your eyes and look only at the order, spacing, and gaps between options. Those gaps are doing more persuasive work than any individual number. Regulators are starting to treat reference points like ingredients labels. Not just what's the price, but what are you mixing it with? As AI learns your habits, it can show you a normal that's calibrated to your past splurges or frugality, then slide new offers just above or below that line. In AR, you might drop a virtual laptop onto your desk and instantly see it auto-lined up against pricier or cheaper models nearby. A live market rendered on your coffee table. The real power move will be choosing which benchmarks you don't show. Your brain will keep hunting for anchors even when none are obvious, so you'll start inventing them. Last time I paid X. This feels like a splurge. My friend got hers cheaper. It's like checking street signs in a foggy town. Half visible, slightly wrong, but still guiding you. The more you notice those homemade benchmarks, the less they quietly steer you. To go deeper, here are 3 next steps. 1. Watch Dan Ariely's TED Talk, Are We in Control of Our Own Decisions? And pause at each pricing example to list 3 ways you could reframe how you present your own product service. For example, adding a decoy option or a high anchor package. 2. Open up your favorite shopping site and install the free Keepa or Camel price tracker. Then track 3 items you want for a week to see how the original price versus current deal contrast is actually manipulated over time. 3. Grab Robert Cialdini's Influence, focus on the contrast principle section, and compare his examples to one real sales page you visit today. Then note exactly where they use anchoring, decoys, or strike-through prices and how it changes your felt sense of value. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. To keep learning with structured courses and more insights, go to owlup.co. Until tomorrow!